Hi there, welcome to this video about educational psychology. In this video, we'll look at the second part of Chapter 2 of Slavin's coursebook, Educational Psychology, Theory and Practice. The main question of this chapter is, how do children develop cognitively? In the first part of this chapter, we talked about some aspects and issues of cognitive development. In this video, we're going to look at Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Jean Piaget is the most influential developmental psychologist in the history of psychology. He was born in Switzerland in 1896. Piaget started as a biologist. He studied biology and got a doctorate in biology. After receiving his doctorate, he became more interested in psychology. Piaget's first theories in psychology were based on his careful observation of his own children. Many of the terms and principles and methods that Piaget introduced to psychology were extracted from biology. Piaget's main interest was why and how mental abilities change over time. Piaget's theory of cognitive development proposes that a child's intellect or cognitive ability progresses through 4 distinct stages. Each stage is characterized by the emergence of new abilities and ways of processing information. Before we dive into how children develop through Piaget's stages, let us see how development takes place according to him. According to Piaget, all human beings, including very young children, are constantly interacting with and making sense of the world around us. In the process of making sense of the world, we build mental models that Piaget referred to as schemas. We use these models along with the processes of assimilation and accommodation in order to interpret and organize information in our brain. So how does that happen? Let us see. To help you understand these concepts, let us take the example of a child who has never seen a kitty and his mom wants to teach him what a kitty is. As the mom introduces a picture of a kitty to the child for the first time, the child would want to know what that is. The mom goes, "That is a kitty," and she continues, "That is what a kitty looks like." The child begins to form a mental representation of a kitty to interpret and organize information in his brain. A kitty has 4 legs, a tail, and ears. Piaget refers to the mental representation that the child forms here as a schema. Guess what happens when the parents bring the child a real kitty? The kid would approach the kitty and brings up the schema he has already built to know what that is. He begins, "It has 4 legs, a tail, and 2 ears. A kitty. A kitty. Yes, it is a kitty." The process that a child used here is referred to by Piaget as assimilation. That is the process of understanding a new object or event in terms of an existing schema. When the kitty meows, the child enters a state of doubt. Is this really a kitty? The schema or the mental model he had formed does not include something like this. At this level, the child experiences, according to Piaget, a state of disequilibrium. Piaget defined disequilibrium as a state of imbalance between what is understood and what is encountered. Though the situation may seem confusing for the child, it is eventually an opportunity to grow and develop as the child seeks to gain back equilibrium. To restore equilibrium, the child would add to the existing schema that a kitty meows. And therefore, the schema about a kitty expands and equilibrium is restored. The process of restoring balance is called equilibration. The child keeps interacting with the kitty and expanding on his existing schema. The child continues using assimilation to expand his understanding of what a kitty is. So he keeps adding to his existing schema. A kitty has 4 legs, tail, ears, it meows, licks, jumps, and scratches. Guess what happens when the child sees a doggy? He immediately activates his existing schema and uses assimilation, and he goes, "It's a kitty. It has 4 legs, a tail, ears." So the child keeps interacting with the dog as a kitty. When the dog barks, the child enters again the state of disequilibrium. The existing schema does not include something like barking. The child, with the help of parents' feedback, tries to restore equilibrium and learns to distinguish between a kitty and a doggy, and builds mental representations for each. The process that the child uses here is referred to by Piaget as accommodation. That is the process of modifying what we already know so that new information can fit better. Piaget believed that children are scientists who interact with their environment and grow and develop using the process of adaptation, that is, adjusting schemas in response to environment by means of assimilation and accommodation. Piaget's theory of development represents Constructivism. Constructivism is built on the idea that children develop cognitively as they actively build systems of meaning and understanding of reality through their experiences and interactions with their environment.